I want to start by letting you know we are recording this session, and I'm glad, Alex, that you've joined. Edward, welcome to the Ipevo family. I am super looking
Yay.
forward to working with you guys.
Very excited.
And you both will be at InfoComm 2026 in Las Vegas in a couple
Yes.
of weeks,
Yeah,
right? Yes.
that's right.
And one of the great things about InfoComm this year is from last year to this year, and I'm going to start by making some brief introductions. My name is Izzy Pagan Jr. I'm the director of channel sales and marketing for CloudRoom AV. I've got Alex and Edward. Alex, why don't you tell us who you are, how long you've been with Ipevo, and what you guys are doing right now?
Yes. Well, my name's Alex. I've been with Ipevo, so about 13 years since day one. So I was
Yeah.
very first sales rep until today, and I got to meet many educators. Now we're expanding. Well, Ipevo actually, long story short, yes, our bread and butter was K-12, but now we're expanding to for professional audio video conferencing, and now we're stepping into AI solution too. Right, so I think we have a more complete solution to service
Okay.
different market, if you put it
Okay.
this way.
Awesome. Edward, tell us about yourself.
Yes. So I am new at Ipevo. I'm the director of vertical markets. And so I've been addressing vertical markets for about 20 years now, but for other companies, and specifically reaching out to K through 12 education, higher education, healthcare, and other. Just anxious to go on this journey with you and see where it takes us.
I've been in the AV space for about 5 years now. I come probably 25 years. I've been in the software space. Started my career off with a little company that you might have recognized the name called Citrix Systems when we were under $1 billion. I was there doing some of the greatest moments of growth and acquisition when we bought we used to call it the little C, which was the go to my PC webinar, go to my desktop, so I was during that acquisition, during the NetScale acquisition. I was part of the channel marketing program that did the acquisition during the Zen desktop solution. So I grew my career from that software space. And what's great about where I'm at right now is CloudRoom AV. We do AV. We're a middleware solution. We're a software solution that works on a Windows architecture, right? So we're agnostic. And a great thing to be in the AV space is agnostic. And the reason why we feel that way is because a lot of other room controllers, some of the larger names, they put you into this, what I like to call a gilded golden cage, right? You are with us. You got to do with us. You got to spend $150 an hour with our engineers. We don't do that. We leverage all the platforms. We do it on Windows. Windows is one of these products that has evolved so incredibly. It runs the world from the business perspective. As much as Mac wants to be on the creative side, from a business collaboration space, it is Windows. And with a lot of the self-healing, we're just a couple months away from Windows being able to heal itself. So we're leveraging a lot of that. We've been working with Ipevo on so many different projects. And one of the products that I'm biggest fan of is this one right here, is your Totem 360. I love this solution. I'm a big fan of it. We've got it deployed in many higher education environments. Pretty much every single one of our courtrooms has this at the judge's bench. So it's recording everything in the room. It's recording everything that's happening from the jury, from the attorneys, along with some other cameras that we work with from documents. And we obviously use some of your guys' stuff for the documents for evidence-wise and some of the other solutions. But today, I want to talk about one of your most exciting solutions, a solution that I think is going to revolutionize and transform how we work in the courts. We live in a very diverse country. Our court systems are very diverse. We've got so many different languages. Interpreters are sometimes few and far between. I personally speak 3 different languages, but they're the most common: English, Spanish, Portuguese. But sometimes you've got people from all over the country, all over the world that are in these court systems for either criminal or for civil or for whatever it might be. And you guys have come up with a product that I think is affordable, it's integratable, and it delivers exactly on what it promises. And that is your Vurbo? Is that it? Am I saying it right?
Vurbo.
Vurbo.
Vurbo.ai.
Vurbo.ai. This solution comes with these multiple pucks, and I'll be adding some pictures along with this recording later. And very low latency, I believe. There you go. We got a puck right there. I hope to have mine soon. Low latency, immediate translation. You can hear it, you can see it, and it floats over any of the platforms that we're working on. So when it comes to integrating with us, again, in that world of agnostics in the video conferencing world. We're excited about it. Alex, tell me a little bit more about the features and the functions, and let's focus maybe a little bit on the courts, and then maybe for the higher ed.
Got it. Well, like I said, great question about what is Vurbo.ai, what it does. So I think for translation, what we find out that there's a lot of translation out there, right? And the most commonly, they give you a palm device, they give you a tablet. That doesn't really solve the problem. Right? It doesn't matter if the business in the school, even in the court. So what we love to do is give you a add-on software to our partner, so they're able to integrate with their solution, also with our software. So I think we're a plus one, right? So let me just go ahead and show you the feature. Why don't we just get our hands to it? I think that's the best way to understand. All right, let me just go ahead and share my screen. And also, we add one more feature yesterday, and I shared that with Edward yesterday. I'd love to share with you. Okay, hold on. Entire screen. All right. Okay, all right. Can you see my screen? Okay, so this is AI. It's pretty simple. On the left are your history, your core history, your session history, your consultation history, right? So that includes transcribe, translation, summary, and notes. Pretty easy. Okay. And if you go back to desktop again, yes, you can start any conversation, also have it transcribed and translated. And also there's a few different tools, right? You can import your file. Also you can do custom glossary, which means that you can identify fuzzy word, because a lot of names and terms and places, right? Spelling and pronunciation are way off. Right, AI able to catch that. Also, we have something called the summary template, but again, I'll show you in action in a few seconds. And under here, those are preset. So you can set up as many preset as possible for every scenario, for different languages, for different rooms, for different cases, right? So you don't have to go to select your language setting, all that. No, whenever you log into the account, you know what to do right away. So that will save you time. So we can just start from the basic, right? So for example, for beginning, definitely you pick a language, right? So for example, it's English. As a lawyer, as an attorney in a court, you want able to translate to your customer, your clients, right? So regardless that, maybe a little small, but let me show you that. So today we support 106 countries, because we don't say languages, right? Because language can break it down by dialect. If you look at Espanol alone, right? We can break up a different country. For Chinese, right? There's Mandarin, there's Cantonese, right? If you talk about India, right? There's different languages. So let's just say that the language we're looking at. Also, one of the things that we want to contribute and talk about is that we want to serve minority languages, right? Somali, Haitian Creole. The language we recently add will be Albanian. Right. So those are just the good feedback we got from our customer, from our partners.
So it's not just major languages, it's also dialects and nuances within that language that are unique. One of the things I noticed when I went to my demo version of it, I looked for Spanish. And Edward and I were talking yesterday,
Right.
and he happened to bring up Costa Rica, right? My kids are half Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican, and my kids are half Argentinian and also Costa Rican. So things like yai, comai, and all these other things that are Costa Rica or Puerto Rican. And I loved how you guys, as a Hispanic, as a person, I find that very respectful, that you guys are just not putting in languages based on a flag. You're just like a map. Like when people say, I moved to Texas 2 years ago, and everyone's Mexican here. And even when we speak the same Spanish, there's a lot of words that we say very differently and mean different things. You guys have that broken down into Puerto Rican. You guys have that to Mexican. You guys have that broken down to Costa Rican, to Nicaragua. Like you guys have that broken down. That actually makes me proud that you guys took the time and your development team to do that. I find that very respectful. And as a compliment to your development team and to the people who were doing this initially, I find that very, very cool.
I mean,
thank you.
Actually, we resonate on that because when you meet someone new, instead of asking what language you speak, I usually ask them, "Oh, by the way, where are you from?"
Yes.
You want to be more inclusive. You want to understand, okay, where you from, let me help you. Right. So that's why we figured out, there's different languages. So, I mean, I think a funny one goes to French. When people say French, I always ask, all right, Canada. Nah, that's not French, but we still add it anyway.
Yeah.
Are we talking about like real, like
Quebecians are going to be
right? Are we talking about Swiss? French, Francais French. Again, so that's what we want to break it down language. So we're adding, so for example, one of the things we're working on is India, right? So again, there is a big country.
Punjabi, all these other,
They're so diverse,
Right.
right? So 6 months ago, we only support about 80 plus languages. But thanks to all the good
Wow.
feedback from school,
Right.
from church, from B2B, yes, able to do that. So today, let's just say that we could just pick a random language. I'd just say, let's do Arabic, for example, right? Okay, because one is a special language because I want to show you that. Okay, Arabic. Okay, and we can do instant translation because there's a two type of translation. It's either full sentence or it's instant translation. So also majority, about 95% language we have provided on the list able to do instant translation. So it means that it doesn't need to until you finish a sentence and pause and translate for you. You'll fix the language along the way, right? You might notice that when you're talking, but the translation change from second to second because they want to they want to give you the best translation according to according to your speech. Okay. And it's very simple that you just let AI know which microphone to pick up your voice. So that comes down to with your partner that you're providing your microphone AV solution so they can set your good microphone to pick up the voice. Because one key thing about Vurbo.ai is that you need a good microphone to pick up the voice. Otherwise, you wouldn't do anything.
I want to ask you about that real quick before you go into there. We work with some of our technology partners that we work with are companies like Nareva, who are based out of Canada, which we love their audio mist technology. We love how their audio lifting, where people can hear it all across the room, and probably one of the best mics in the mic. So it doesn't matter if I'm working with Shure, Sennheiser, Nareva.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Perfect.
Because I think the only thing we want to do, we want to be a plus one.
Yeah. That's how we feel.
Yeah, that's it. We don't want, for example, like this is if you put it this way, we are now like if you're working in a restaurant, I think that's my favorite metaphor. We are not the main course. We're more like
the accoutrements. Speaking of French, the accoutrements.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Okay,
I'll let you get to the demo there.
Solution as an entire solution, and we're just a good plus one. So to complete the solution anyway. Also, a few other thing is that we add profanity filter, for example. That's a feedback from our customer. We heard some cases that some of the meeting attendee got really excited, and the things become interesting anyway. Anyhow, so those are just the basic settings. But let me just go ahead and show you what actually sound like and look like. So okay, well now it's translating. Okay. All right, at the first few seconds, you need to give it a few seconds to warm up, but you can see how fast it translates for you. So there's a couple ways for you to present it. For example, that I can actually turn my subtitle and the caption. Right, I can show both languages. It's either vertically or horizontally. Right, you can set the number of the line you want to set or unlimited, or even change the color. Right, you can change the font size a little bit. Right, or you can change the opacity. Again, first, this will be the case that if you're sitting out with a customer and they're looking at the big screen, or if it's a meeting, it's a seminar, they can just easily understand what's going on with live translation right there.
Can I have that floating bar on a separate screen entirely?
Yes.
Like, can I?
Yes.
If you have a second screen, simply drag this thing to
our courtrooms. If you look on our website and you see some of our courtrooms that we do, we're heavy on the displays, right? And then we do with our matrix switcher and a couple of things like that. We're able to take a specific signal and put it specifically somewhere. Exactly. So I'm thinking jury, courtroom, the people in attendance that don't need to see some of the back end stuff, just this.
Exactly. You can simply drag it to a second or second or third desktop if you wanted to. Yeah, it's easy. And you probably noticed one thing.
It's picking me up pretty good too.
Already, right? There's a different color. This is called speaker dialization. You're able to identify, AI is able to identify who's talking, who is not talking. So I'm green, right? So you can just go ahead and tag yourself and apply for the rest of them. So you remember that the picture voice, my voice, is going to be green. And Edward's is going to be orange, for example, and you're going to be a third color. Right, so it can identify up to 10 speaker in the room. Right, so it can be a different color. But again, AI still needs some guidance from us. So the person controls the meeting at the very first minute. I mean, maybe just the first 3 minutes. He just need to identify, who's talking and tag the name, and that's it. So the AI remembers, for rest of the court, rest of the session, rest of the meeting, or identify by color. And also eventually the next update, what we're going to do, if you put initial for first and last name, right, you can actually see the first initial. So if I put Alex Yen, you'll see number 1, AY. So again, that's
I can go up to 10 microphones with this?
Well, I mean, you can actually, yes, if your system able to have a multiple microphone set, as a single audio source? Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. But your hardware does come with 8 pucks, a hub with 8 pucks?
Yes. So we have this accessory. So you will have,
Yes, I love that.
yes. That's
I
something
love that.
new. We just released it about a month ago. Yes. Brand new.
Yes,
Right.
I
So
like that a lot.
you're so able to do that. So they're able to, they can see the translation, also who's talking. And us again, I think for transcribe, for taking notes, that um, AI is even more reliable than human being.
Of course.
Yeah, because I think there's no room. Actually, there's no room for mistake, if I put it this way.
Yeah, no, and absolutely, and I mean, there's AI is AI is taking over the world in so many different ways. I subscribe. I do not subscribe to the ostrich theory, which is you stick your head on the ground and you've got this big old bird on the outside. And just because he doesn't see what's happening around the outside doesn't mean no one else sees you or see what else was happening. I'm not going to bury my
Right.
head. Either we embrace it or it's going to run us by. And I'm glad that you guys understand that as well. One thing I have a question for you. Now, let's say we're in an environment where there's not many displays, but there's one display. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. Is there a QR code feature where someone can scan it and see it on their smart device?
Yes,
Something to that effect?
I was going to
Okay.
show you that.
Yes.
I was going to show it in a bit, in a bit as well.
Okay. I'll let you continue.
All we would like to do is that, because translation, because most of the solution out there, even if you buy a phone, even a lot of smartphone, they do translation. If you're talking to a group of people, it's going to be different language needs at the same time. Right, you can just switch one to another. Again, it doesn't work. So we have something called cloud translation. I'll show you in a next. But instead to say that with a simple meeting like this, where you're done, okay. Well, you can either pause the meeting, or you can either pause the meeting, or you can stop the meeting. So, for example, all right, let's say the session's over. That you got that detailed transcribed translation notes plus audio file, right, as a record. And also AI will able to generate a topic and summary. And for that summary, right, as long as you don't delete the file, you're able to go back and translate to whatever language you need. So for example, I have a customer, also there's a different template, okay? That just do, we have a different template for medical, for legal consultation, right? So because again, so we can work with you to add more template, depends on your needs.
So wait, you're telling me there is a legal consultation summary already built into your, I mean,
Yes.
hello.
So this is just the beginning that we're able to enhance, improve that template according to your needs, right? So at first we only have simple summaries, though now we have meeting, speech, interview, healthcare, education, detail, right? So for example, let's do details, for example, okay? So you can swap between case to case and like that, right? And the AI will execute perfectly to tell you what is the bullet point it's going to be. It takes
Wow.
only a second. And also, if you want to talk to your customer, your clients, that according to where they are, okay, then he's a Korean, and simply just adjust that. All right. And also, what else you can do to enhance that? Any conversation. What's the point of that? Is able to do recap, to summarize, to also to share. But there's a lot of different shape and form for it to share. It's not just a detail. It's not just summary. What about visualization, right? For example, let's
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
flow chart. So we're able to
Wow.
the AI is able to give you a graphic summary about in different. Again, this is brand new. Also, we're adding more template as well. We're adding more graphic into this.
Wow.
So we want you to virtually understand it. Also, you can understand audio file interpretation. Also, in graphic visually, you're able to understand what is going on. Right.
So for all intents and purposes, a lot of this AI tool stuff, taking audio, taking summaries, putting them into workflows and doing other stuff like that, a lot of that stuff can be done with Claude, with Gemini and other stuff. But what's great is that you guys have it integrated already. So you guys have taken let me export into this, let me do it to that, let me, listen, I can get Asian food, Spanish food, Mexican food, Arabic food at different restaurants. But when I find a buffet in Las Vegas that has it all, that's where I'm going to
Jackpot.
go eat. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to go somewhere that has every option of food that my heart delights, and I don't want to go to have 50 restaurants to taste 50 different countries. And it seems to me that your tool is that spot that gives me all of those great AI tools without having to subscribe to some of these very expensive AI tools that are out there.
Exactly.
Right?
Very well put.
Yeah.
And also, one thing about this that a lot of feature, we're reflecting to the user's feedback. So I would say a lot of a lot of solution, a lot of feature come out is more tailor made towards you, right?
Mm,
We comply exactly what you need. And also another important thing about for translation, there's a lot of translation tool, even free translation out there. But the most critical thing would be data compliance.
of course.
So that's why one
Yes.
thing that we,
100%.
we our bread and butter is education. If you're talking about New York, if you're talking about California, right? There's actually this compliance. Also, we are compliant with that because one of the thing is that we do not allow user to to have anything saved in the cloud. So all the data are stored locally on user's device. This is, for example, that you log into your account, you use it on your desktop at work. When you come home, we'll log into the same account. That data does not get carried over to your personal desktop.
Okay, that's perfect in alignment what we do at CloudRoom AV. Our cloud solution, our core, our Pro series, our high level AI, self-contained silo AIs based for that room without going out to the internet. So we have these massive, like we are NISP compliant for courts and all this stuff like that. So you have to be able to log everything, see everything. So compliance is great. And a lot of people are afraid of AI because it feels like it's going to go to the cloud. Or it's this and this and that. So you are telling me that all of this is being saved basically on our one-touch PC unit in that room.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
also you're able to export, to different formats. Export summary, audio file, notes, and all that. Right. And also all the data are here on that specific device unless you delete that on purpose.
Got it.
Right. So this happens
Got it.
that, it's the way we design is like one device for one purpose. Because this is a work
Got it.
PC. You're supposed to, only work stuff. You shouldn't have that at home.
Mm.
You would
Unless
think. Hopefully.
Yeah.
hopefully. And that's actually what at least one trying to do. 'Cause
Objective.
everything goes to cloud, that's a bad idea.
Yes, very bad idea.
Yeah. So
Very.
so again, so you can always go back to different conversation, different chord, and also and do that. And also another is, we want to help people to one other thing about conversation and data is that you need access to that and also quickly. So one of the small feature we have is actually we call that a 1 second. Let me go back to this. Okay, so you're going to look at your conversation. For me, I probably forgot what I said 5 minutes ago, right? Maybe my age. Okay, so anyhow, so I have something called it's called
Did he just say that, Alex, to us?
I keep saying that.
My God, age, whatever.
My
I'll let
wife
that one pass. Go ahead.
things a lot. So I think I kind of started.
Got a ways to go.
Yeah, I started to take out the trash, and what happened? I was like, oh, maybe I wasn't listening. But anyhow, so when you look into every conversation, any record, you can just go and ask the AI any question related to that. For example, did I talk about food? No. Right. Did I talk too fast? Maybe a little bit. Right. So it's because you can search by keyword, obviously, but we have an assistant helping you to access to, your data, your conversation, your record, and trying to tell you that, okay, so exactly what I said. For like for that session, for 2 hours. Again, a long conversation. If you talk about court, if you talk about a private session, a consultation, it will take hours, maybe an hour or two, or maybe it's that 45 minutes with a lot of information in there. So you need some help to dig them out.
So when you ask it, did I talk too fast? It's analyzing not just the words, but the actual audio clip and giving you its opinion on how to better converse.
Yes. Maybe some word I said, maybe I keep repeating the same word I said. So you can just ask AI question related to that session. But obviously you can't talk about something irrelevant. For example, did I
Well, how about this? Did I say a lot of ums? Did I say over? Yes, it did. It picked it up.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
How do you like that?
for example, I can ask something totally irrelevant. Do I want Chinese food for dinner? Not related.
Not related. If in prior, what's the point? You said on the mic, on a hot mic, as they call it in the industry, man, I'm really in the mood for some Chinese food tonight. Okay, let's get
Right.
back. It'll pick that up maybe and say, "Well, you did say it."
But it only works with good microphone.
Of course. Well, that's I mean, that's what we're providing,
That's
right?
what you do.
We want to provide our courts, our school. We want to provide the best of the best, and that's why we're working with select brands, and we're not just putting in, crappy related type mics or anything of that nature. We want to put in stuff that's picking up using quality noise cancellation, using some AI into it, so it'll compress the audio and focus on specific channels. So yeah, 100%. You can only, a car performance, you got to put gas, right? You got to put the good oil.
Exactly.
You got to, one thing cannot go with the other. You can't race on regular tires. You got to put the slicks on there. So I totally understand the analogy with that.
Yep. So that's another way I think. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. For example, why don't we set a preset? Okay. So a lot of consultation, for example, is more intimate. It's more one-to-one, right? So why don't we do? I'll say one-on-one session. I'll say Andy, the customer saying Andy. Okay. And you can put a date to that. Today is all right. So all you have to do is English. Well, I speak a few languages. For example, let me do Mandarin Chinese. Okay? So you add 2 languages. All you have to just let AI know. Oh, there you go. You're welcome. You can do bi-directional. So which means that you're telling AI, all right, now there's 2 languages. You need to translate. Now your job is lock out to those two languages and then translate back and forth with each other. So just clicks okay. Also, because right now I haven't picked up a second microphone. I use my default. But if your room is locked down to the specific microphone, fixed microphone every time, you can just point that, okay, this is a microphone for this preset, allow you for the pickup from now on. All right. So
our new Enforcer X software that we have on our One Touch solution allows you to rename certain peripherals, like a microphone, lock it down to a specific session. So when people go into a meeting, let's say it's a Zoom or Teams meeting, they're not going to see 12 mics. They're going to see the one mic, and that's the only mic they're going to see that will be specifically locked into that scenario. So that works perfectly with our CloudRoom AV One Touch platform.
Great. Yes. And just go ahead and save it. All right. So for example, so you have an appointment with Andy and one-on-one. He's from Taiwan, by the way, like where I'm from. You just click on that. Okay, it's a session. Wait for a few seconds. Okay, now it's working. And so if you're doing one-to-one, I don't think I want to do subtitle. I like to have that translation on the big screen for you and I. Okay, so what if your customer that doesn't read that well, doesn't read that fast? So there's another thing, it's called verbal interpretation. So you simply click on that. 因为我的英文不好，所以我需要有人讲重要的。所以我需要及时的翻译，让我知道说发生什么事。
Because my English isn't good, I need someone to help me with translation. That's extremely, extremely important to me. So I need real-time translation to let me know what's happening.
Right. Or you can turn the voice off if you wanted to. So we're looking at back-to-back, translation. They just again, you know how fast it translates for you. So they work. It helps tremendously for someone who need that one-on-one session, one-on-one conversation.
Because
Yeah.
in courts, and not so much in higher ed, but or universities, but sometimes in courts, or let's go into churches or things of that nature, right? When you've got a minister or a priest doing a homily or doing a message. And this is not, I say this, I feel like I feel like I can say this. You do have people that sometimes aren't as visually reading literate as some other folks are. Could be because they're older, could be because they're just new to a specific language, could just be a literacy issue. Adult literacy is still a big issue across the country.
Maybe young kids, right?
Or young kids that are still learning a language. And but also this is such a great tool for, let's say, a person that maybe has a intercultural relationship, and they want to go to a Chinese Catholic church and listen to a homily with their family and their wives who are Chinese, but he may be a good old school boy from the South and doesn't speak a lick of it, except a couple I love yous and a lot of sheshe and a lot, other thank you and yes. And he could enjoy and hear things with family and friends in a kind of group environment that is very unique. And you could hear it in a way that I don't have to read it on a screen, but I could hear it, audio wise. So I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean, and also you can set, the reason we have preset is that we want you to get ready, right?
Yeah.
when you have a client coming in, usually they come in, I'm sure that you'll get, their case, what they need, right?
Yeah.
So you were able to set ahead of time. So when they come in, you don't have to go through them that. When they come in, you are ready. Let's talk,
Yeah.
right? And also one thing
Right.
Yeah.
about talking to a lawyer is time. The moment you
Yes.
speak, you better get ready. So your customer will appreciate that. All right, I'm ready for translation. Let's go. You don't have to wait for some.
Yeah.
You don't wait for someone to come in a room and take a cup of tea. Also, oh, I
Yeah.
need a bathroom break. No, this is you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's the whole point.
10.
Right.
And this can all be recorded, like you said, keep it on the local PC
Yes.
on one of our one-touch core solutions, and
Right.
it can be linked with video recording and other things like that in
Yes.
order to, because there's a time state and time
Stamp
stamp.
and date.
Sorry, I went dyslexic there for a second. With all this, so it can be easily going back and forth to that as well. So that really, and again, for me, for our world, since we're so heavily in courts right now, I mean, we are in other areas, but we're also dealing a lot with city council meetings. I mean, this is such a
Yes.
great tool for city council meetings, and a lot of
Yeah.
these diverse cities. You've got these little hubs of cities that have like massively unique, different cultures and languages that some people, are not, always aware of or want to partake. This really feels like it brings a lot of people together in a very, like I said before, courteous way. It's not this is a translation. This is how it is. I
Right.
feel like it's designed for the person and not for the company. It's a benefit for a company or an organization to have this, but I feel like it's listening and it's giving me good translation and I get it. Like it
Yeah.
feels polite.
You actually
Mm.
brought an interesting point. Yeah, we recently closed a case in Colorado, and it's a small town, but like I said, designed for town meeting. And I mean, one of the according to the reseller mentioned that they have 30% Hispanic population. So the only way to encourage them to come to the meeting and talk about it is to have translation because they used to have someone come in, they do the real, the real person interpreter and all that. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, it's very expensive to have someone to come in.
Very. Ipevo,
Right.
bring community together.
Oh, I might
Mm.
need to use that for marketing. So
I mean, I mean, in essence, it does. And it does as a client, as a community person, as, embracing the diversity that we have in all areas. And we live in a world where because of video conferencing, right, we can do work with people absolutely anywhere,
yes,
anywhere in the world. We can get on a meeting, we can do all this. The one thing a lot of these platforms don't do really well is that live translation in a way
Oh.
that seems conversational. Like I want to keep that familiarity flowing. I want to keep that going. And it's too expensive to have a bunch of headsets on with, the people from the United Nations, each, speaking into multiple languages. I can bring 3 or 4 different countries in a meeting and we can all be having a conversation in essence, right?
exactly. Right.
Absolutely.
About I think, like I said, accessible, inclusive, right?
Yeah.
And also,
And
Right.
I
yeah.
think that's great.
I mean, as a newcomer a long time ago, I think one of the crucial point about languages, overcome the language barrier, is about you don't feel pressure. You're able to
Yeah.
listen or even speak, right? So I think,
Right.
providing translation should be like a something you don't even notice is working. But oh, it's right there.
It should be.
Right.
Yeah, it should be. You're 100% right.
Yes,
Yeah.
for someone that, come in a room, oh, by the way, this is your peace device. Please put it on. And nah,
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
Yeah.
But for me, that wear that earpiece for me for hours, it doesn't feel comfortable.
But let's transition. That's a good segue into, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time as well. The device conversation
Yes.
in the case that somebody does have a headset, has their phone.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
Talk to me a little bit about how you can take this off from 3 massive screens and just put it in the hands of somebody that it's more, from an intimate view or a hearing scenario. Because that's also something that I think is really important in city council meetings, in court environments, in a church or something of that fact. There's a lot of different scenarios where that would be. And I know that that's obviously a feature, so I'd love to hear and see a little bit more about that.
Let me share my screen again. I just actually close it. My bad. Hold on. All right, desktop again. All right. Okay. All right. Let's just say that again. We're still doing that translation. All right. All right. Okay. I'll say Brendan. Let's just do. All right. Filipino, whatever, right? Okay, you're doing translation, but one thing, like I mentioned, that if you want to do multiple translation as a group, that we have something called cloud translation right here. So as a host, right? I mean, as a user, they able to create their own different session, different language group, right? So for example, let's just why don't we just why don't we just create a new one? To just say that a court or town meeting, let's say February. Okay, all right. So you can actually, I already preset a few languages. Okay, so let's just say remove a few. Okay, so we can create at up to 8. All right, so let me add a few more. All right, so I know that there's going to be someone from Japan. Okay, I know there's going to be someone from who speak Cantonese. Okay, that's a different Mandarin, that's different Chinese. And what about India? Okay, that's good. Again, you just pick the language they need. For example, Ukraine, right? That's one of the popular one, right, nowadays. And also, you can design the maximum viewer. But this is again, I'm using a demo version. But you can have up to 10,000, user or 5,000, depends on the plan you purchase. And also, this meeting is fixed, which means that the link you share, the QR code you provided, always stays the same. So if you talk about regular meeting, regular session, well, you can always add it anyway. But if you don't delete it, it stays the same. So simply click star. So there's a throughway for people to access. They can either scan the code, or they can just go ahead, click the link shared by you, or they can just simply go to the website and type in the court or the session password. So I'm going to use my phone, just example.
I just clicked on it as well.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to use my phone. So on the screen, the people actually, the attendee, right? They will see that the language pre-selected by the host, right? I will do Italian, right? So at first, okay, now it's kicking in, right? You notice
I'll
that
pick.
it starts translating right away, and there's a different setting. You can also make the font larger, and you're able to change the speed. Also, you can block the translation. Also, you can swap between language and language in case you select the wrong language. I'll go ahead and select Japanese. Okay. Right.
So
Oh, okay. Yeah. And also because this is the demo version I have, it doesn't have a voice interpretation, but the user able to listen to translation. Well, when you go out, I think most of people when they travel, they usually bring their own headset, so they know what to do already. So if you
of
need
course.
something to want to listen, you don't need to tell them what to do, unless you have to provide a different headset. It's going to be a lot of trouble. So all you have to do, just pick it up and they can listen to it. Because some people prefer to listen, some people prefer to read it on their phone. So you have two-way, virtually. And also one of the thing about translation, we want people to access. So one of the benefits of it is that they don't need to sign up. They don't need to register. They can just have a quick access into that. And also now you're looking at the screen now, there's 3 people. So as a host, you're able to tell how many people join the session, join the courtroom, join this, the consultation for that, join the meeting. Yeah, so you're able to tell there are 3 people. Yeah, so this one way for you to monitor that as well.
And I can remove the other person's language, so I just see my language.
Yes, right. You can
Exactly.
yeah, you can swap for I'm doing Japanese, and now we're doing Ukraine, right? Or Ukraine, translate right away.
So now I'm taking off the English version and I'm just reading it in Spanish.
Yeah. So, well, if you ask me how well translated, if I look at Chinese, it's I don't know, like 98%, 99% accurate, right? Because nothing's 100%. But again, the one thing about translation is about how well it translated, how fast it translated. So those are the 2 things we'll look at. We focus the most, and also we talk
Huh.
about how easy for how accessible that is.
Now, if somebody, this is live, so if somebody who's watching this interview later clicks onto this QR code, will they see the conversation we had in the past?
They won't. So it's because the moment the host stop the meeting, right? So which
Okay.
means that the session is over. It only works only when the session is live.
That's great. Is there a way to? But it's already being recorded on the back end over
Exactly.
here on the
Yes.
actual. So there is a
Right.
record of that. So this live translation is you're totally controlling it. As soon as it's done, it's done. You can't go back to it.
Yes. And I mean, because if it's over, you just watch the record. That's all.
And if there's someone next to me that didn't get the QR code, I can share the QR code from the meeting as well.
Yes. Yes, we want people to. Hey, by the way, and also a lot of occasion that we do a lot of host many different kind of meeting. So when people check in, right, they check your name, they get their badge. By the way, I'll scan the code and they find their seat,
Guys,
and you're good to go. And also on the big wall, there's also another reminder for, hey, here's a code, scan it. Or in the invitation we send out, also there's a link embedded. So there's a lot of way to remind them to make it easier for them to to understand what's going on.
if someone's bedbound and can't have a city at the city council, but wants to hear what's going on because they're not recording it live, I could send this to somebody else and go, listen, I know you couldn't come. I'll be there, but if you want to see the conversation, here, I'm going to send you a link so you can at least hear what I have to say when I speak.
And also,
There you go.
yeah, also we have well, actually, I wouldn't say a lot, but this is a group of people, they actually need this too. We're talking about ASL.
Of course, we can't forget about that.
We
100%.
cannot afford, because I've heard story that, I think mostly from school, right? They hire someone to come in to do ASL, sign interpretation, sign translation. It's a lot of money. And also that person is not always available. Also, one thing about translation, we see the pain point is that it doesn't matter it's in school or somewhere else. You have to book ahead of time. It's not days to book ahead of time, maybe weeks ahead of time. But for Vurbo.ai, it's about right now, let's go. Maybe you call, you want to come in. All right, I'm available tomorrow. Come in. We can do it.
And I don't want people to think that a software like this is going to put people who work in ASL out of business, because it's not. What I think is seeing this is there are, like you said, so few and far between. There's really good ones that love to do what they do, and they're spread so far out that there's people that really need one-on-one personal working, and there's other ones that don't need it so much. And this is a perfect tool for a person who works as with people with second languages to allocate their time to those who need it a little bit more than other ones, right?
Mhm.
And they don't have to. So, like you
Mhm.
said, weeks out, weeks out, weeks out. Well, I've got more time because we're using a tool like this, and now I can work with people a little bit more intimately, one-on-one, instead of this massive all to
So
none. I mean, school's rolling.
exactly, because our initial thinking was that, obviously, if you're in New York, California, I mean, there's a lot of resource on the East Coast, West
Oh
Coast.
my gosh.
But what happened if you're in Kentucky, you're in Nebraska, you're in somewhere is far away from other people. So this
Yeah.
actually help you. So the reason that I mentioned about the town in Colorado, again, if you want someone to come in, oh my God, they have to drive for hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
want people
Absolutely.
quick access for that. Yeah, so I think those are the main feature. For me, Purple AI just get started. We have more feature, but I have one thing about Ipevo, all the feature improve add in the future will, I think, mostly come from feedback. For example, if you subscribe, I know a lot big, I'm talking about tech company, they have translation services, but they do not reflect based on your feedback, but we do.
Obviously, you do, because this feels like something was designed uh, at the request. Like, I feel like you guys put a suggestion box outside the building and just had,
Something like that, yeah, or just
I mean, basically like that, right?
text me and let me know, and I just saw
Yeah,
that
I
reply, so
it definitely feels like old school. This is what we need, and this is what we're getting. Not we're forcing something down your throat based on what's being done overseas or what's being done in Europe. Like, this is really for the people. I hate to sound it's so cliche and campy to say that, but it I mean, it just, quite honestly, it really does feel that way. So, I mean, obviously, there's so many features, there's so many things that this product can do. We are excited to be working with you. We are excited to be partnering with you. We're excited to bring this to our existing courts, to the customers that we're working with. And if you are a CloudRoom AV or a 323 Link customer and you have our products in the courts, you need this solution, period. No questions about it. No anything about it. This is what you need to have. Why? Because courts, uh, 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 um, city councils, mayoral meetings, anything that does it, it's to serve your community. It's to serve the people. If you're an attorney, it's to serve your clients. If you're higher education, it's to serve your students. And this is a type of product that does exactly that. It serves the one that it's designed to help. They're not paying for it. You are, which is not expensive, by the way. And with us, you can get a subscription through us. We've got all the products. If you want the pucks, if you want one of our other mics, if you want one of these Ipevo amazing Totem 360 cameras, we've got them. It'll work. It'll pick up through here, right? It'll work through these microphones as well,
yes,
right?
yes.
So Alex, Edward, any final thoughts before we close this out?
I would say a lot of languages, I think language, is common, right? But I think that is communication is important because a lot of misunderstanding could be simply solved if you translate it, communicate more accurately, right? Because a lot of a misunderstanding can simply be avoided. If you
Yeah.
just get the message right and maybe translate more accurately in a better way. I think it's all about helping people communicate regardless where you're from. That's it.
Absolutely.
Edward?
Hugely valuable tool. And we so appreciate your time and your enthusiasm and just bringing this better to light for us.
Yeah.
We can understand where it's needed and help you out.
I am looking forward to seeing both of you in Las Vegas in a couple weeks. We are going to
Yes.
be doing a live session with you guys on our Crave TV channel. We're excited about that. So thank you both of you guys for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedules to meet with me today. And I will leave and I will end this with one of my favorite quotes from the eloquent Frank Zappa. The mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work unless you open it. And thank you guys for opening up your minds and opening up to your customers and to the needs of everyone out there and coming up with such an intuitive, immersive solution that works incredibly well with our One Touch product. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be here.